What if the reason your life feels stuck is not bad luck, not lack of talent, and not the world working against you, but your own mind? Sometimes the thing that destroys your future is not a person, not failure, and not rejection. It is a quiet pattern inside you. You delay the important work. You walk away when things start going well. You choose comfort over growth again and again. And then you call it laziness, bad timing, or destiny. But what if it is something deeper? What if your mind has learned to protect you in ways that are secretly damaging your life? Self-sabotage is one of the strangest things about human behavior. We want success, love, peace, confidence, and stability, but then we often act in ways that push those exact things away. We know what we should do. We know what matters. Yet we still procrastinate, overthink, quit too early, pick the wrong people, or create chaos when life becomes calm. This is why self-sabotage feels so painful. It does not just slow you down. It makes you feel like your own enemy. The real problem is that self-sabotage is not always self-hatred. Very often, it is self-protection. Your brain does not care about your dreams as much as it cares about safety. If success feels risky, your mind may delay it. If love feels vulnerable, your mind may ruin it. If progress feels unfamiliar, your mind may drag you back to old habits. In other words, your brain can treat growth like danger. And when that happens, you do not move toward the life you want. You move toward what feels emotionally familiar. One of, one of the most common forms of self-sabotage is fear of failure. On the surface, it looks like procrastination. You say you will start tomorrow. You say you need more time. You say you work better under pressure. But underneath that delay is often fear. Because if you try fully and still fail, that failure becomes real. It becomes proof. So the mind sometimes chooses delay, distraction, and avoidance, because then failure feels less threatening. You did not fail because you were incapable. You failed because you never gave yourself the chance to find out. But failure is not the only fear. Some people sabotage themselves because success feels even more dangerous. Success changes expectations. It creates pressure. It brings attention. It asks you to become someone bigger than the identity you have lived with for years. If deep inside you believe you are not worthy of success, then reaching it can feel uncomfortable. You may suddenly start making mistakes, disappearing, losing motivation, or ruining momentum. It is not always because you do not want success. Sometimes it is because success requires a new identity, and that identity feels unfamiliar. A hidden driver behind self-sabotage is low self-worth. If you do not truly believe you deserve good things, you will not treat good opportunities carefully. You may reject praise, ruin healthy relationships, or unconsciously choose the version of life that matches your internal identity. People often think success starts with skill, but in many cases, success starts with identity. If your inner story says, "I am not enough," then your actions will eventually follow that story. Self-sabotage is often the outer behavior of an inner belief. Humans do not always choose what is healthy. They often choose what is familiar, and familiar is powerful. Even pain can feel safe when it is predictable. That is why people return to toxic patterns, delay important decisions, or keep recreating the same emotional chaos. A peaceful life may actually feel uncomfortable to someone who grew up around stress, criticism, or instability. So when life gets calm, they unconsciously create drama just to return to what their nervous system recognizes. Most people misunderstand procrastination. They think it means laziness, but often it means emotional resistance. A task may trigger fear, shame, boredom, perfectionism, or overwhelm, so the mind avoids it. That is why self-sabotage can look strange from the outside. People think, why would you destroy something you want? But from the inside, the behavior is not random. It is a coping mechanism. A bad one, yes, but still a coping mechanism. Self-sabotage often becomes stronger when your life starts improving. That is because growth creates uncertainty. A better life demands new habits, new discipline, and a new self-image. It asks you to leave behind the old version of yourself that felt familiar, even if that version was limited. And this is the painful truth. Many people do not resist success. They resist change. Because change means becoming someone they do not yet know how to be. Breaking self-sabotage does not begin with motivation. It begins with awareness. You have to catch the pattern without becoming ashamed of it. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right before I avoid this? What does this moment remind me of? What fear is hiding under the excuse? Once you can name the emotion, the pattern loses some of its power. And then change becomes possible, not overnight, not perfectly, but honestly. Small action, repeated often, is how you teach the brain that safety and growth can exist together. You do not ruin your life because you are broken. You ruin it when old fear, old pain, and old beliefs are stronger than your vision of who you could become. But patterns can be rewritten. The same mind that learned to sabotage can also learn to build. The same person who delayed everything can become disciplined. The same person who kept running can decide to stay. Your life changes the moment you stop asking, "Why am I like this?" and start asking, "What is this behavior protecting me from?" That question can change everything. Subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for interesting videos of human psychology. See you in the next video.